Alrighty, Chef Buck here, and today we're going to bake up some maple pecan scones. These things are awesome, they're deadly, so you want to exercise some caution. To get started, we're going to grab a large bowl, throw in 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and then a little bit of salt. And we'll go ahead and get these ingredients mixed up. And then we're going to add 5 tablespoons of butter. And look where we're getting it. We're getting it out of the freezer. What kind of neat little trick is that? Now we got a little frozen block of butter that we can easily grate into our flour. And then you can just take a spoon and easily fold them into your little flour mixture. So getting your butter in your mix isn't as big a pain in the butt as it should be.
Amazing!
To this we're going to add 1/2 a cup of chopped pecans. So run down to the bank and get a loan so you can get some pecans. I don't know why they're so expensive. A little bit of raisins, because I love raisins in scones. And then get another bowl, and we're going to go ahead and mix up a little bit of sour cream, a little vanilla extract, and dun dun dun, some maple syrup, because this is a maple pecan scone. Now use your whisking superpowers to go into overdrive, and then you can instantly turn it into this smooth liquid that we will pour into our flour mixture. And now we're going to gently spoon this around. And we're not mixing it up hardcore or anything. We're just gently spooning in circles, getting this liquid in this flour mixture to become friends. And you just do that until you get tired of your spoon. And then you trade it for your favorite utensil, whatever that is. And this happens to be mine. So now we're no longer spooning. We're doing something else. But we're still doing it gently. And what we want to do basically is just get this mixture to clump up together. We're not trying to force it together or smooth it out. We're just trying to get all the loose flour to come together. And you won't get all of it, but get as much as you can to form these flour little lumps. And then on a flat sheet, take a big piece of parchment paper, and we'll go ahead and we'll empty our bowl onto there and work on this parchment paper. Because that's what you do when you're lazy, and you don't want to be slinging flour everywhere. Parchment paper is the lazy person's friend when they're baking. So now that we got our mixture on this parchment paper, we're just going to use the paper, to clump it up together, just to press it together, like we want it to stick. But it's not going to stick, You can push it together, but it's going to be like an iceberg. Parts of it are going to want to slough off and break apart because it's very dry. But that's okay, as long as it sorta is together, that's okay. So put another piece of parchment paper on there, and then we're going to flatten it into this sort of giant cookie shape. You want it to be about 1 inch thick. It's going to look like, honestly, if you were like an 8-year-old boy, you'd be like, this would be your dream cookie. So now tidy up the edges, if you're OCD like me. And now we're going to cut it like a pizza pie. But it's more like a cookie we're cutting. Cut it into like 8 pieces, 8 little scones. And now we're going to kind of separate those pieces. And like I said, it might want to fall apart, but that's okay. Any pieces that fall apart, you can just go ahead and stick them back together again. See, I'm doing it with my knife, and I'm also doing it with my hand. So they're kind of together, but they're kind of not. So like I said, they're really crumbly, but don't worry about that. Now sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top, maybe like a teaspoon all around the top. And now we'll slide them into the oven at 400 degrees and let it bake away for 20 to 25 minutes, something like that. And then boom, as soon as they're golden brown, then go ahead and pull them out and look at that, man. You're gonna let them cool down for a few minutes, and then they're golden on top, they're nice on the bottom. It's just like a biscuit, and that's what I love a scone to be, like a biscuit. And see all those cracks on there? Where it's cracking open? That's fantastical. You know why? Because we're gonna make a glaze, that's why. We're gonna get a little bit of powdered sugar, and we're gonna get about a cup of it. And to that, we're gonna add some warm tap water. Just a little bit, just a tablespoon or 2, and go ahead and start to whisk that up. And if it doesn't whisk up, then we'll just add a little bit more warm water, but just a wee little bit, because it doesn't take too much, to turn this into too much of a liquid. So you want it to have a thickness, a viscosity. That's a terrible word, but you know what I mean. So once you get it to this syrupy state, then we'll add some more syrup, because that makes sense, right? Just looking at this will put you into a diabetic coma. So that goes back to the exercising caution thing. This is not a health conscious thing to do. So look at that. That's just deadly liquid sugar. I can't believe I should have passed out just from putting that in my mouth. So now we're going to push our scone back together You know, like a divorced couple giving it another go. And now we're gonna dribble our little sugary syrup over there and let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then you're gonna try to get one and you're not gonna be able to because it's stuck to the parchment paper with sugar. It's sealed with sugar. That's how sugary this thing is. But when you finally pry one loose, it's gonna be like a dream come true. Or maybe a nightmare. These things literally are deadly. If you wanted to get rid of somebody, if there was somebody you didn't like, you could make them these scones like every other day. And they would love it. And they would love you, but at the end of a year, they would be dead. And you would be walking around like a free person. You know, this is like the perfect murder weapon. Death by scone. Give these things a try. Let me know what you think. And good luck, because you're gonna need it.